Hello and welcome back to Operations with the Void. I hope yesterday's video was a nice early surprise, and today's video is the reason why. I'm currently in the Armory, as soon as it loads. Yes, there is the HoloLive stuff too. My opinion is Fubuki is the best, but that's just my humble opinion. Anyways, the big point about in the Armory, there are 3 ships available to get. I do not have the hood. I do not plan on getting the hood. The hood is an old... If you like historical ships, go ahead and get it. But she has lived past her prime, kind of like Blishkovitcha. A ship that used to be overpowered, but now is very much underpowered due to game mechanics. The hood just it's a British battleship, yeah, but if you're going to get a British battleship, why not get Duke of York instead, because that one at least has hydro. For a tier 7 battleship, I would recommend Duke of York over Hood, and it's cheaper by a lot. Now, on to the other 2, Grizia. You have Grizia and Tashkent, and you can exchange, you can buy vouchers using different materials to exchange for these ships. I used a combination of Commander XP, credits, and coal to get Tashkent. I already had Grizia. I got Grizia in a Christmas crate. One of the free ones for having tier 10 ships. Anyways, Grizia is Zara in her historical form. Zara in game is her design form with the torpedoes, but because of the Washington Treaty and whatnot, the torpedoes and some other stuff are removed. Grizia is the historical ship, so there are no torpedoes. What she gets in exchange for the torpedoes is 6-kilometer hydro. So she has German hydro, even show it here. She has a spotter plane like the other ships, and then she has 6-kilometer hydro. Not a bad ship, not a great ship, just very meh. And then there's the new ship, Tashkent 39. I really enjoy her. But let me go over. Here we go. Yudachi. Yudachi's currently not for sale. Yudachi has a really slow gun reload, so very low gun DPM. Has 8 torps total with a torp reload booster. And smoke. It's pre-nerf Shiratsuyu. Tashkent 39. 9 torpedoes, so 1 extra torpedo in and 3 sets of launchers, so you get more control of where you send your torpedoes. You get a tighter spread too, and they reload a little bit longer than or about the same amount of time as Yudachi's, and we also get a torpedo reload booster and same consumables as Yudachi. So I was originally going to showcase it in an Aegis video, but I already have an Aegis with Yudachi, and Tashkent will play the exact same way. Just, you have to be a little bit further away because the concealment is pretty bad with a concealment expert. But otherwise, it's very much like Yudachi. So everybody who didn't get to pick up Yudachi, well, actually I recommend Tashkent because it's actually really good at the job at torpedoes. And actually I can put in a clip of what Tashkent doing something and doing torpedo stuff in Aegis, so put that right here, and then after that clip we'll go into our battle, which is going to be a Raptor Rescue. So first, a short clip with Yudachi, So here we are at in Aegis. Real quick, we sent Torps off at the first wave, so we had to wait for them to reload for this wave. So if you notice, I just got detected here. That's because the detection range is not so good. And here we're able to send 2 racks of Torps at a Myoko, the most dangerous of the cruisers. And then we're able to use the torpedo reload booster to send more torpedoes out. And we're actually able to spread out a little bit more, or make sure that, like the Myoko there, we're able to get a kill. But we went for the Myoko because it has the most guns. We had the Myoko, Fudotaka, and Alba, and then 2 Fusos. We went for the Myoko because with 2 racks we could get a kill and take out 10 of the cruiser guns. Which, honestly, we probably should have sent 2 racks at another cruiser to take another kill. But instead we sent 2 racks per battleship. No, we did 1 cruiser, 1 rack at 1 battleship, and 2 racks at the other. Anyways, we were able to spread out, and here we were able to get damage. And Yudachi can't really do that because you only get to have 4 targets instead of 6. So in this way, right here, Tashkent is actually better for Aegis. So here's just an example of Tashkent and Aegis, and here I'm using my guns because even though they're pretty bad. Now on to the main feature, which is the Raptor Rescue. I might, actually I will probably, there'll probably be some sections that I try and skip to make this a faster video. So, just looking, people are doing the hood mission because if you already have the ship, there are some missions that you can do to unlock some in-game resources and such. It's not terribly fantastic. You shouldn't buy the ships for the missions. Tashkent, however, does come with a nice plus 200% to all types of experience. So if you notice, it's a 5-minute countdown on your torpedo reload booster. So Superintendent may or may not be worth it. I'm still undecided whether I want for another torpedo reload booster. But I went ahead and used torpedo booster on the first one at first so that I could get the torpedoes for the battleship. And we're just speeding along. We actually provide smoke to our allies because we're nice like that. I was actually debating not providing smoke so they would take the fire, but we're nice like that, so we're just going to provide smoke since we're not going to use it. Now here you can either go south of that island or north of that island. I was debating going a little bit south of it, and so I start to move a little bit that way. I honestly probably didn't need to shoot there, because if I didn't, I would have been undetected right now. So maybe just don't use your guns sometimes. Especially when you only get 3 guns and they're not great. And one good thing about the slower torpedoes is you don't end up hitting the Alba with all your torpedoes. They are pretty slow. They are typical Russian long-range torpedoes that are just really slow. But here we get 5 torpedo hits, and that's enough to sink it with a little bit of flood and help from everybody else. And so I don't have RPF, so I don't know which way the enemy is coming from. The joys of only having 13 points on a captain. I know the captain, buying the ship you get a 10-point captain right away. So if you have no Russian ships, here's a 10-point captain right for you. So that you can already have the standard destroyer build captain. I'm using, if you didn't already notice, Sovietsky Russia. I got her out of a crate, No, I did not buy any of the Zero Line bundles. I understand Japanese, so I just end up putting all the Japanese-speaking commanders on boats. Anyways, so we're heading for the carrier. In fact, I think I might cut and skip to where we're going to get the carrier. Okay, here we are. The torpedo reload booster just came off cooldown, and we're waiting. We know it's the midpoint is north. That's about as much information as we have. The AA here with the 2.5 kilometer range, and yeah, that's minimal damage. Hey, reminds me of another torpedo ship, Yudachi. And now we're detected, and there's Fubuki, so we aim one torpedo rack about just in front of the bow for Fubuki, and they hit mid. No more Fubuki. And by taking out one destroyer there, that makes it easy for everything. Well, easier for the allies, who seem to be playing on the aggressive side. And now that the Bismarck has spotted the 2 cruisers in the south, we know that there's not going to be cruisers in the northern section. So that eliminates one of the that eliminates a big danger here. And Shokaku's secondary. So, yeah. Have you noticed the Hatsuharu there? It goes undetected while we're still detected. So even if we weren't at shooting, haven't had our shooting dispersion thing there, we'd still be detected because of the very large detection rating on Tashkent, which is mostly just a hindrance in random. So in ops, it's more or less whatever. You can get away with the larger detection. I ran it in Nurai and did decent as well. At an Nurai, unless you have like 5 kilometer detection, you're going to be detected a lot. So I aim a little bit ahead of the Alba, thinking it's going to be speeding up. Spoiler, I was wrong. So we're using our guns a little bit, and oh, there's a battleship down south. We now know that the battleship is going to be a central exit because it's southern battleships. So this is the standard. In fact, this was when I started working on the Wikipedia, the Wargaming, World of Warships wiki, this was the only route listed on the wiki for Raptor, and was actually my motivation for working on the wiki and changing all that. I asked the wiki team. Don't worry, I didn't change anything without permission. And yeah, so the cruisers are down. The Bismarck is really brave being in that position. He's going to get some damage in, but he's really brave. He doesn't need to. In fact, all of our team is really brave. Which leads to me making a little bit of mistakes, because I'm not used to working with people who rush out into danger, and that's why I'm sitting here. This is the best spot for a stealth destroyer, or even a not stealthy destroyer, something that you're going to be in range to throw torps out. Even the British 8 kilometer torps. You see, the Amagi's already within 8 kilometers. Mines could actually get away torping a couple of them from around here. But yeah, so I'm using this little window, and I see the Atlanta charging it. Oh, well. He's going to die quickly. If the Amagi was at higher health, I probably would have sent more at the Amagi. But it's at pretty low health, and so I do there, and I do to the Congo, I do a torp reload booster. Now, here's where I make a mistake. The Fuso is behind the Amagi. And the Amagi is going to die right now, in the path of all the future coming torps. And the battleships are in such close formation that if one dies, the AI doesn't try to avoid it. They just run into the wreck and slow down. And it's kind of like an island for them. And so all those torpedoes for the Fuso are going to be war crimes and hit the Amagi and the Congo and make sure it's completely dead. So the Fuso gets away with that. And if our allies weren't so aggressive, we could have held back and torped the Fuso a little bit later when it passes the Amagi wreck. But because everybody was so aggressive to get any kind of damage in, we went greedy and we lost. And so now, all the stuff's in Myoko and it's going to die very quickly. We have 6 remaining allies, and provided no one dies to that Myoko, there's going to be 2 that spawn. Now, if one dies, then only one spawns. Oh, well, there's goes Myoko, and no one's dead yet. If one dies, then we would get 1 spawn, and wherever we are is where we would block the spawn and force it to the other side. But because they both spawn at the same time, we get to sit here, and we're going to wait. And I'm going to fast forward to when these ships spawn. And here we have a detection. That means one spawned in because they don't spawn in both at the same time. One spawns and then the other. And so we're not actually using our indicator. We don't need to at this range. And I threw one out just to see. And no, I needed 4 torpedoes to kill one of them. So we're moving to go to the next one. We're aiming a little bit ahead because it's still accelerating a little bit. Popping our smoke and slowing down as we turn our guns around. And I go and queue up armor piercing because the armor piercing is actually decent. You know, I guess it's Russian armor piercing using Stellium 127 rounds, and we get a ricochet. But the torpedoes are what do the most damage in the ship. And there we go. We have gotten all the ships. Now we're not fast enough to go from here to the exit before Raptor gets to the exit. So you really need to make sure that someone is in the exit for you, and luckily they've already done that. And as this is the standard, or what people think of as the standard Raptor Rescue route, South battleships, it's the one that everybody remembers. People are more likely to be ready to spring into action against these ships. But again, I've also seen where the battleships get all the way up to Raptor and shoot Raptor. And so the position we were in earlier actually prevents that from happening. And by going for the carrier and doing that, that makes sure that for the South battleships, we won't fail because of that. And so here we are with a 5-star Raptor. We have 8 kills, 23 gun hits, and 24 torpedo hits. When you have more torpedo hits than gun hits, that's how you know you're in a torpedo boat. If you have a lot of damage, and you have more torpedo hits than the gun hits, and you used your guns a lot. But yeah. And we're top of the team because we did a large chunk of damage. And you notice we had 200k in torpedoes and 4.5k in main batteries, with floodings and fires making up a little bit more. This is with green boosters on, so plus the 200%. Anyways, that is Tashkent. I do recommend her. She comes with a mission, a 10-point captain, and you can buy her solely for credits, provided you have enough credits laying around. If not, you can use other resources. But yes, Tashkent, I recommend her. I like her. I will probably be using her. I also have Yudachi, and well, I like Yudachi, and she's just a Russian Yudachi, and I need someone to train up my Russian captains. So I think I have my new Russian premium. Anyways, if you liked today's video that showcases a new premium as it's released, give it a thumbs up, maybe make a comment saying if you want to see more of the video. If you didn't like that I produce a video early just so I could throw out a here's a new ship and how it is video, then let me know, and maybe I won't do it in the future if enough people say that I shouldn't do it. And if you want to see more videos featuring operations, subscribe. But I'm not your mother, so I can't make you. Anyways, for those of you who enjoyed, I hope to see you again next week. Have a good one.